Imagine this. You step outside onto your balcony or patio, the air fresh with morning dew. Around you, pots overflow with vibrant green leaves, flowers, and tiny fruits. You don't have acres of land, just a few containers, some good soil, and a bit of sunlight. Yet somehow your small space is bursting with life and flavor. That's the magic of container gardening. It lets you grow real, delicious food almost anywhere. No tilling, no digging, no big backyard needed. Whether you live in an apartment, a townhouse, or just want to bring your garden closer to your kitchen, containers make it possible. And here's the best part. Some vegetables actually grow better in containers than they do in the ground. You get fewer pests, easier watering, perfect soil control, and the flexibility to move your plants wherever the sun shines best. So today we're diving deep into 7 of the best vegetables you can grow in containers. Crops that are productive, space efficient, and perfect for beginners and pros alike. Grab your coffee, grab your gloves, and let's jump right in. 1. Tomatoes. The container garden. Superstar, there's just something special about homegrown tomatoes. That deep red color, the sun-warmed skin, that first juicy bite. It's pure summer in your mouth. Once you've tasted a tomato grown in your own pot, you'll never look at store-bought ones the same way again. And here's the secret. Tomatoes absolutely love containers. Growing them in pots actually gives you more control, the perfect soil, the right amount of water, and the exact amount of sunlight they crave. But not all tomatoes are created equal for container growing. If you try to grow a massive, indeterminate variety like beefsteak, it'll sprawl all over your balcony. Instead, choose determinate or bush types, which naturally grow compact and stop at a certain height. Some great container-friendly choices include Patio Princess, Tiny Tim, Better Bush, and Roma. These varieties stay manageable while still producing generous clusters of fruit all summer long. Container setup. Choose a pot that's at least 5 gallons in size. The larger, the better. Deep containers help roots stretch and stay cool. Drainage holes are a must. Tomatoes despise soggy soil. Use high-quality potting mix, not garden soil. It's lighter, more aerated, and drains evenly. Before planting, mix in compost and a slow-release organic fertilizer. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, so giving them a nutrient boost early helps them produce loads of fruit later on. Sunlight and water. Tomatoes are sun worshippers. They need 6 to 8 hours of full sunlight daily. If you're growing indoors or in a shady area, add a grow light. Place it close to the plant and keep it on for 12-14 hours per day. Water regularly, but don't drown them. The goal is even moisture. The soil should feel damp, not wet. Inconsistent watering leads to split. Fruit and blossom end rot, those black spots that ruin tomatoes. A great trick is to use a self-watering pot or add a thin layer of mulch on top of the soil. Both help regulate moisture levels and reduce stress on the plant. Care tips. As your plant grows, gently prune off the lower leaves. This improves airflow and helps prevent disease. Add a tomato cage or stake early on before the plant gets too large. This supports heavy fruit clusters and keeps your plant upright. Want to take it a step further? Plant basil in the same container. These two are best friends. Basil naturally repels pests and even enhances the tomato's flavor when grown nearby. And the reward? By midsummer, you'll step outside and find clusters of glowing, sun-warmed tomatoes waiting to be picked. Slice one open, sprinkle on a pinch of salt, and take a bite. That's not just gardening, that's homegrown happiness in a pot. 2. Peppers. The colorful, compact powerhouses. If tomatoes are the kings of container gardening, then peppers are the dazzling queens. Bold, colorful, and full of flavor. From shiny green bell peppers to fiery red jalapenos, golden banana peppers, and even deep purple or chocolate varieties, peppers bring energy and color to any small space garden. And here's the good news. Peppers absolutely love containers. They thrive in the warmth and excellent drainage that pots provide, often producing more consistently than those grown in garden beds. Choosing the right varieties. For small spaces, look for compact or dwarf cultivars. Some excellent options include Gypsy, Baby Bell, Redskin, Hot Portugal, and Jalapeno M. Whether you're into sweet peppers or spicy ones, the growing conditions are nearly identical. Warm roots, steady moisture, and lots of sunlight. Container setup. Pick a 3 to 5 gallon pot with good drainage holes. Terracotta pots are a classic choice. They breathe well, preventing root rot. Just remember they dry out faster, so you'll need to water a bit more often. Use a light, fluffy potting mix enriched with compost. Avoid heavy or clay-based soil. When planting, bury your pepper just slightly deeper than it was in its nursery pot. This encourages stronger root growth and helps stabilize the plant once it starts fruiting. Feed your peppers regularly with a balanced organic fertilizer, something like a 5:5:5 ratio. Once the plants start to flower, switch to a fertilizer higher in potassium and phosphorus. That's what drives fruit production. Liquid seaweed or fish emulsion also works wonders. Light and heat. Peppers are heat lovers. The warmer the weather, the happier they are. Give them at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day. If you live in a cooler region, place your containers near a wall or reflective surface. This helps trap and reflect heat. Ideal nighttime temperatures for fruit set are around 60-70 degrees at 15 orange. If temperatures drop lower, flowers may fall off, so be ready to bring your pots inside or cover them lightly with fabric on chilly nights. Watering and maintenance. Peppers like consistent moisture, not too wet, not too dry. Water when the top inch of soil feels dry to the touch. Mulching helps retain moisture and keep soil temperature stable. When the first flowers appear, gently shake or tap the blossoms to encourage pollination. Especially important if you're growing indoors or in areas with little wind. Here's a pro trick. Pinch off the first few flowers on young pepper plants. It might feel wrong, but it allows the plant to channel its energy into developing strong roots and sturdy stems first. Later on, it'll reward you with a much bigger harvest. Harvest and enjoy. You can harvest peppers when they're green for a crisp, mild taste, or wait until they ripen to red, orange, or yellow for a sweeter, richer flavor. Every stage offers something unique. Green peppers are grassy and sharp, while ripe ones are sweet, aromatic, and packed with vitamins. If you're growing hot peppers, remember, the longer they ripen, the hotter they get. And here's the exciting part. The more you pick, the more they'll produce. A single healthy pepper plant in a 5-gallon pot can yield dozens of fruits in one season. Imagine your patio lined with pots bursting with glossy, jewel-toned peppers, a living rainbow you can eat. 3. Lettuce and salad greens. The quickest path to freshness. If you're new to container gardening, or simply craving quick, delicious results, lettuce and salad greens are the perfect place to start. These are the true instant gratification crops of the gardening world. You plant them once, and within just a few short weeks, you'll be snipping crisp, flavorful leaves right from your windowsill or balcony. Lettuce and other leafy greens have shallow roots, which makes them ideal for container life. They don't demand much space or deep soil, just a cozy pot, good drainage, and a little care. Even better, they love cooler weather, so they can thrive in early spring, fall, or any mild season. You can grow them almost anywhere, on a small patio, in a window box, or even in upcycled containers like wooden crates, baskets, or salad bowls. Variety's worth growing. For a diverse, colorful mix, try growing different textures and flavors together. Buttercrunch lettuce is tender and smooth. Romaine offers that classic crunch, and red leaf adds both beauty and a mild, earthy taste. If you want variety without the hassle, plant a mesclun mix, a blend of baby greens that regrow after each harvest, giving you endless salads from a single sowing. Don't stop there. Spinach, arugula, kale, and Swiss chard all thrive in containers too. These nutritious power greens are just as easy to grow and make your salads not only tastier, but far more nutritious. Sunlight and containers. Lettuce is refreshingly low maintenance when it comes to sunlight. It only needs around 4 to 6 hours a day, so even shaded balconies or partially sunny patios can support lush, full pots of greens. Use a wide, shallow container. About 6 to 8 inches deep is perfect. Lettuce roots prefer to spread outward rather than downward. Ensure the pot drains well and fill it with loose, fertile potting mix enriched with compost for best results. Watering and feeding. Moisture is key for lettuce. The soil should stay consistently damp, never soggy but never dry. If the soil dries out too much, the leaves can turn bitter. Water early in the morning or late in the evening, when evaporation is low. Feed your greens with diluted compost tea or an organic liquid fertilizer every couple of weeks. This gentle feeding keeps the leaves soft, tender, and full of flavor. Harvesting for continuous growth. Here's the best trick, the cut and come again method. Instead of uprooting the entire plant, snip off the outer leaves as needed, leaving the inner core to regrow. In just a few days, new leaves will sprout, and you'll have an ongoing supply of fresh greens for 4 to 6 weeks or more. For even more variety and natural pest control, tuck a few herbs into the same container. Parsley, chives, or dill make perfect companions, naturally discouraging aphids while giving you bonus flavor for homemade dressings or garnishes. With just a handful of seeds in a few pots, you can grow enough greens to fill your salad bowl every day. It's quick, sustainable, and deeply satisfying. A simple joy that brings your kitchen to life with freshness straight from your balcony. 4. Potatoes, the hidden gold beneath the soil. If lettuce delivers instant results, then potatoes offer the most rewarding surprise. There's something magical about this crop, because all the action happens underground. You can't see the progress, but when harvest day comes and you dump out that container, the sight of those smooth, golden tubers tumbling out of the soil feels like striking treasure. And yes, potatoes grow wonderfully in containers. In fact, it's one of the smartest and cleanest ways to grow them, especially for those short on space. No digging, no weeding, just rich soil, sunlight, and anticipation. Getting started. All you need is a deep container. A large flower pot, grow bag, or even a 5-gallon bucket will do. Just make sure it has drainage holes at the bottom. Potatoes need depth more than width, so aim for at least 12 to 16 inches of soil space. Always start with certified seed potatoes rather than store-bought ones. Grocery potatoes are often treated with chemicals that prevent sprouting or may carry disease. Seed potatoes are clean, safe, and guaranteed to grow well. If your seed potatoes are large, cut them into chunks. Each piece should have at least one eye or sprouting point. Let the pieces dry for a day or two before planting to prevent rotting. Planting and growing. Begin by adding about 4 inches of loose, compost-enriched soil to the bottom of your container. Place the seed potatoes on top with their eyes facing upward, then cover them with another 4 inches of soil. As your potato plants grow taller, continue to add soil or straw around the stems, a process called hilling up. This technique encourages the plant to produce more tubers along the buried stem, meaning a much bigger harvest. You'll likely repeat this process 2 or 3 times as the plants grow. By the time your container is full, you'll have a tower of soil teeming with developing potatoes beneath the surface. Watering and feeding. Potatoes like consistent moisture. Not too dry, not too wet. Water when the top inch of soil feels dry to the touch, which usually means 2 to 3 times per week, depending on the weather. Feed them every few weeks with compost tea or an organic fertilizer rich in phosphorus and potassium, nutrients that encourage root and tuber formation. Avoid high nitrogen fertilizers, which promote excessive leafy growth instead of potatoes. Light and temperature. Potatoes thrive in bright light, needing about 6 to 8 hours of direct sun daily. However, they prefer their roots to stay cool. If you live in a hot climate, protect your containers from overheating by wrapping them in burlap or placing them in partial shade during peak afternoon sun. The big harvest. You'll first notice your potato plants forming small flowers. That's your cue that new potatoes are forming below. You can gently reach in and harvest a few baby potatoes at this stage for that buttery, delicate flavor. For a full harvest, wait until the foliage turns yellow and starts to die back. Then stop watering for about 2 weeks. This allows the skins to toughen, making the potatoes perfect for storage. 5. Carrots and root veggies, the underground treasure trove. When people think of container gardening, they usually picture leafy greens, herbs, or maybe a few tomato plants. But here's a secret that even some seasoned gardeners overlook. Some of the best container crops grow completely out of sight. Root vegetables like carrots, beets, and radishes are the hidden workhorses of the garden. They quietly develop underground while everything above the soil looks simple and still. Then one day you pull one up and reveal a crisp, colorful root. Sweet, earthy, and impossibly fresh. It's one of the most satisfying harvest moments you can have. Once you've grown your own, you'll never see store-bought carrots the same way again. Why root crops thrive in containers. Here's why root vegetables are perfect for pots. They crave loose, deep, stone-free soil. Exactly what a container provides. No rocks, no compacted clay, no weeds stealing their nutrients, just freedom for those roots to stretch and grow perfectly straight. And since root crops don't need much pollination or space to spread, they're tailor-made for balconies, patios, and small urban gardens. Choosing the right containers and soil. Depth is the secret ingredient to success. For carrots and beets, choose containers 10 to 12 inches deep. For fast growers like radishes, 6 to 8 inches is plenty. You can use anything with depth and drainage, from fabric grow bags and deep window boxes to repurposed storage bins. Just make sure there are holes at the bottom so excess water can escape. When it comes to soil, think light and fluffy. Use a premium potting mix designed for vegetables, then blend in compost and a touch of sand or perlite to keep things airy. Heavy or compacted soil is your enemy here. It leads to twisted, forked, or stunted roots. Planting and ongoing care. Always sow seeds directly into your container. Root crops hate being transplanted. Moving them can distort or stunt their growth. Plant the seeds about 1 to 4 inch deep, just barely covered with soil. Keep the top layer consistently moist until they sprout, which can take anywhere from 7 to 14 days depending on the temperature. When the seedlings appear, thin them out carefully so each plant has breathing room. It's tough to pull those tiny green sprouts, but it's essential. Overcrowded roots compete for space, and that's the #1 reason for small, misshapen crops. Best varieties for containers. For carrots, go for shorter, compact varieties like Paris Market, Thumbelina, or Little Finger, all designed for tight spaces. They stay sweet, grow quickly, and look adorable when harvested. Radishes are the speed champions of the vegetable world, ready to pick in as little as $3 to 4 weeks. They're perfect for impatient gardeners or for introducing kids to growing food. Beets take a little longer but reward you twice. Tender, colorful roots below and vibrant, nutrient-rich greens above. It's a double harvest from one plant, watering and harvesting. Consistency is everything. Keep the soil evenly moist. Drying out makes roots woody or bitter. Water slowly and gently to avoid disturbing young roots, and always make sure water reaches the lower layers of soil. Radishes are best harvested as soon as they reach their mature size. Leave them too long and they turn tough or hollow. For carrots and beets, you'll know they're ready when the tops start to push up through the soil surface. Pull gently, brush off the dirt, and admire the burst of color. Golden, crimson, purple, and orange jewels all grown right at home. The hidden lesson. Growing root vegetables in containers is about more than the harvest. It's a reminder that the most rewarding growth often happens beneath the surface, quietly, patiently, out of sight. Each time you pull a fresh carrot or beet from the soil, it's like discovering a little piece of buried treasure, a gift from your own mini garden. 6. Bush beans, the compact power crop. Now, let's move from underground to above, to one of the easiest, most generous, and most satisfying vegetables you can grow in containers: bush beans. If you've ever dreamed of growing your own protein-packed food but thought you didn't have the space, think again. Bush beans are compact, fast-growing, and incredibly productive. In just a few short weeks, they can transform a small patio or balcony into a mini farm overflowing with pods. Why bush beans are perfect for containers. Unlike pole beans, which need trellises, stakes, and space to climb, bush varieties stay tidy and compact, usually reaching just 1 to 2 feet tall. That makes them perfect for small space gardening. No elaborate supports needed. They grow fast. Most varieties are ready to harvest in 50-60 days. And as long as you keep picking the pods, they'll keep producing more. It's a beautiful cycle of abundance. Container setup. Choose a pot about 12-14 inches deep with excellent drainage. Beans hate sitting in water. Wet feet will stunt their growth or cause root rot. Fill your container with a rich, well-draining potting mix, blended with compost for a slow, steady nutrient supply. Avoid over-fertilizing. Too much nitrogen creates lush green leaves but few pods. You want energy going into fruit, not foliage. Plant your seeds directly into the pot about 1 inch deep and 3 inches apart. No need to start them indoors. Beans germinate fast and strong in warm soil, usually within a week. Sunlight and water. Bush beans are full sun lovers. Give them 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight daily for best yields. Water deeply once or twice a week, depending on your climate. The key is consistent moisture, not too dry, not waterlogged. Uneven watering can cause flowers or pods to drop before maturing. If you live in a very hot area, add a thin layer of mulch, straw, shredded leaves, or even dry grass clippings. This keeps the soil cool, reduces evaporation, and makes watering more efficient. Pollination and yield. Beans are self-pollinating, meaning they don't rely on bees or wind, though both can boost yield. You'll see delicate white or lavender flowers first, followed by tiny pods forming where the blooms once were. Within a week or so, those pods will swell and fill out. Pick them early and pick often. It encourages the plant to keep producing, almost like an automatic refill system from nature herself. Best varieties for containers. Stick with tried and true compact varieties like Provider, Bush Blue Lake, or Contender, all of which are short, sturdy, and prolific. For something more decorative, try yellow wax beans or purple beans. They're just as easy to grow, and their colorful pods look stunning against green leaves. Bonus benefit, nature's fertilizer factory. Here's a fun fact that most gardeners don't realize. Beans are nitrogen fixers. Their roots form a partnership with beneficial bacteria that pull nitrogen, one of the most important plant nutrients, straight from the air and store it in the soil. So when your bean plants finish producing, don't pull them out by the roots. Simply cut the plant off at the base and leave the roots in place. As they decompose, they'll release that stored nitrogen back into the soil, naturally fertilizing your next crop. That means your beans literally feed the garden, even after they're gone. Harvest time, the reward. When the pods reach their perfect size, snap them off gently. You'll hear that satisfying pop, the sound of fresh, healthy growth. Cook them however you like, steamed, sautéed, or eaten straight off the plant. Once you taste homegrown beans, tender, juicy, and full of life, you'll never go back to the store-bought kind again. Minimal effort, maximum payoff. That's the beauty of bush beans. They give you food, fertility, and joy, all from one small pot. Finally comes the most exciting part, the reveal. Dump the container out onto a tarp or garden bed and dig through the soil with your hands. Each handful uncovers smooth, plump potatoes, red, gold, or even purple, fresh from the earth. A single 5-gallon container can yield anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds of potatoes, sometimes even more with good care. Once you've tasted your own homegrown potatoes, still warm from the sun, you'll understand the magic. They're richer, creamier, and more flavorful than anything you'll ever buy in a store. It's not just food. It's a connection to the earth and a reminder of what real freshness tastes like.